Hey YouTube, this is Rishika. So this would be my 21st video tutorial, and in previous video tutorial I explained about the join, merge and lookup stages, and the most recent tutorial was on the key differences between join, merge and lookup stages in interview point of view. So yeah, and I mean in a series I need to tell about the modify stage, but I don't want to tell it now. I just want to tell it before a transformer stage. So let me just now go to the pivot or pivot enterprise stage, or pivot or pivot you can call it whatever you want, and then remove duplicate, sort, and then modify and transformer together. Okay, so let's concentrate on this pivot enterprise or pivot enterprise stage. So if you see here, there are pivot and pivot enterprise, right? So the difference is the pivot was an earlier what do I say, like earlier stage, and the pivot sorry, and the pivot enterprise stage is like enhanced version of the previous stage. In just the previous version, we used to have only horizontal pivoting, whereas in this latest version, which is pivot enterprise, we can have horizontal, and along with that we can do vertical pivoting too. And the other important thing is, along with vertical pivoting, we can do aggregation too. We can have like aggregation functions done in only vertical pivoting. And yeah, they enhance pretty much all the all the bugs, I guess. So yeah, we do have some probably problems in the pivot stage, but they enhanced and made it like all together a new stage with additional functionalities. That's it. And now let's just design the basic job so that we get input and output link tabs and all that stuff. Then I gonna explain each and every property. We don't have many properties in here, but yeah, just for sake. Okay, so yeah, as I said, pivot, we can do horizontal pivoting and vertical pivoting. So you might be wondering what's horizontal pivoting and what's vertical pivoting, right? Horizontal pivoting is like horizontal is like you have different column. Let's say you have like two columns, and you don't want them to appear in columns, but instead you want them to appear as rows. So converting columns to rows is horizontal pivoting, and converting rows to columns is vertical pivoting. That's it. If you remember just one, the other one just fall into place. Remember, columns to rows, horizontal, right? Horizontal. So just press R, so that it means that you're converting columns to rows, horizontal. So that's it. Horizontal, basically you're trying to convert the horizontally placed columns to vertically placed rows. So that's how you can just remember it. And if you remember one, the other thing is we need not remember it, just opposite of this horizontal pivoting. That's it. So yeah, before doing that, before designing, that's pretty much about this stage. It doesn't have many properties. Let me just, yeah, see, it doesn't have any properties. It just have like a pivot type, horizontal or vertical. That's it. And if you choose horizontal, nothing can be done. And if you have like pivot properties, yeah, I'll explain this. And yeah, the other enhanced thing about this pivot enterprise stage is, or pivot enterprise stages, they introduce this array size and the pivot index things. It was not in pivot stage, but yeah, they pretty much introduced it as like one of the things in the new stages. So pivot index array size is basically, it's like how many, it's asking how to just have like the split data, how many sizes, how many bundles of each data each column of the output data need to be splitted. And the pivot index, if you just check on this box, see, automatically this is the system data state generated column. You can't change anything, just like pivot index. Pivot index means this column, basically when we are trying to have like rows to call when we are trying to have columns to rows, the first columns to rows, right? So when it is trying to have pivoted data, the first row it gonna encounter, it gonna number it, so that we can identify, okay, this is the first column in the pivoted data, and this is the second column, so it's gonna number it as the first column is numbered 0, and then the other is 1, 2, and all that stuff. Group data, we can just number the group data based on this pivot index column. That's it. I mean, it seems pretty confusing, but let me just design the job for you so that it will be everything comes into everything feels good now. So yeah, I pretty much created the data for horizontal pivoting. So what I'm trying to say is we have student ID, last name, course 1, course 2, course 3. So obviously I don't want these course 1, course 2 course 3, sorry, course 3 vertically, but instead I want to place this 90, 92, 985 this vertically. So what I'm trying to say is I do have this column, right? Okay, let me just copy paste this and show you. Okay, so I do have this way, right? But I'm not trying to have data that way. I mean, my requirement is I need to get like this way, Beasley 10, Beasley and 90, and again 10, Beasley and 92, and again 10, Beasley 85. So this is what my requirement is. My requirement says, okay, you have different courses in like horizontally, but what I'm trying to have is I don't want them to see horizontally. Instead I want to make them as rows. So that's how. I mean, you might be wondering, if we have like course 1, course 2, course 3, so what might be the column name? This max column, this course column gonna be any column name which you're gonna have. I'll just show you. So basically we are converting the data which is like this way to this way. That's it. So okay, now it makes more sense when I practically show the data. So just don't close it and don't save any changes. And now let me create the table definitions I created. I don't remember. Yep, I did create. I don't want to waste your time, so I did created the table definitions too. Now let me just fill the file and table definitions and all that stuff. So file, it's horizontal pivoting, so I named it as DS practice, and I named it horiz pivot. Okay, and we do have first line in column names, so it's true, and I'm not worrying about this double quotes or anything. And columns, I'm gonna dump my table definitions here, so it's horizontal pivot. Yep, so that's it, and I want all my columns. Okay, once I have all my columns, it's pretty much done in this source stage. Now go to the pivot or enterprise stage, and okay, let me just show you. Okay, so stage and general properties, we are trying to make it horizontal, right? Horizontal means we are trying to make columns to rows, right? So yeah, that's horizontal pivot. And here what you want to do is, first let me just pull my output things, so that my all things gonna appear here, like in the columns. Okay, and see, once I click here, just load, every column gonna appear. But what I'm trying to say is I don't want all these columns. I don't want course 1, course 2, course 3 to appear in my data. Okay, I just want one column. Okay, and let's name it just course. Okay, and let me choose the SQL type. Obviously it's integer, right? And let me just say 10. We don't have anything more than 10, so yep. And yeah, this group by and pivot things, these columns, group by and pivot operations, see here, if you see here below the pivot index, it says group by and pivot checkboxes are meant for horizontal pivot, are not meant for horizontal pivot, right? So when you try to check this group by, see what does it say? It says that it is not meant for horizontal pivot. You can only choose this group by and pivot fields for only vertical pivoting. Okay, so now what you want to do is, you defined a column, but you didn't yet say what do you want in this course column, what you're trying to have in this course column, because it's new column, right? So what do you want in this new column? So that's when this derivation comes into action. So when you double click on this derivation, see, you have all the available columns. So what you're trying to have in your course column, we are trying to make all these things into course column, right? We are saying that if you see course 1, course 2, course 3 horizontally, I mean in the column wise, I don't want them column wise, just make them row wise. So that's when I'm choosing this columns. And see, now the course has its derivation, right? So that means that this column is pivoted, the course column is horizontally pivoted. Okay, now input we can't really change anything. And output, see, and output, let me just remove all this, because let's say I don't want all these columns, okay, because it leads to confusion. Okay, so let me just delete all these columns, and let me just put this only a pivoted course column. Okay, okay, and this is the pivoted course column. Okay, and what okay, I didn't put pivot index. Okay, let me just check the pivot index column, so that it will be easy for us to see what is the pivot index. So when I click this, when I don't click this, see, it's not, when I click this, it obviously it's adding by itself. I'm not changing anything, I'm not doing anything, I didn't choose the SQL type or anything, right? So that's it. And now everything is set. So let's map this pivot index, because obviously we're gonna see we want to see a pivot index or pivot index column too. So that's pretty much it about the horizontal pivoting using pivot enterprise stage. And now let's choose the target, DS or something, and that's it. Now let's compile and run the job and see if everything is perfect or not. So see here, how many input rows we have? 5 rows, right? But how many output rows are written to the target? 15 rows, right? Because we have course 1, course 2, course 3. So those 3 columns are made as rows now. So we have 5 records, but since these columns are made as rows, 5 times 3 is 15, right? So that's the reason we have 15 rows. Now let's check the how data looks like, and let's see what's how did the pivot index number and all that stuff. Okay, and remember, pivot index we can do for horizontal and vertical pivoting, but array size we can do only for vertical pivoting. We can't do it for horizontal. Okay, so yep, see here we have, see, now we have course. So this means that this is a course 1, course 2, and course 3. And again course 1, course 2, course 3. For each name or each student ID, we do have course, right? But they are not anymore in column wise, but they are represented in row wise, and each row has the repeated student ID and last name, right? And now see the pivot index column. Pivot index or pivot index column, see, the first one is 0. So it means that it encountered this 10 Beasley 90. So we just grouped, right? We just pivoted or grouped. So it gonna understand that these 10 or Beasley are in one group, and gonna number by that thing. So when we see 0, it means that in the pivoted data, this is the first column it has encountered, and 1 means that it's the second column, and it's just like it gives its number based on the grouped pivoted data. So that's it. So I hope it's pretty much easy, guys. Nothing like magical in horizontal pivoting. So yep, that's pretty much about it, horizontal pivoting. Now let's go to the vertical pivoting. Okay, so vertical pivoting, I do have okay, let me just show you my data. It's pretty much the same, the data, but just I made it this wise. So it's, yeah, it's pretty much this, I mean it's exactly the same data, because I mean I can't use the same file, because I wrote it to dataset, and I dataset, and we can't create any table definition. So that's the reason I just created, I know how output data gonna be, so I just created this. Let me show you again. If you remember, let me just compare my data stage output data to my file which have created for vertical pivot. So what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to do is, I'm just gonna have this what do I say, vertical pivot. I don't have pivot index column though, because see, now we do have Beasley, Taylor, Scott. But okay, yeah, the one thing is, I just made them only 2, because I don't want to have like course 1, course 2, course 3. That's the only difference I have. So yep, that's exactly pretty much same, but instead of 3 courses, I made that there is only 2 courses. So when I'm writing horizontal, when I'm using vertical pivoting, I just want columns as course 1 and course 2. I am not really bothered about course 3. So that's the thing. So see, this is my sorry, so this is my data. Okay, so now I created a table definition for these two, vertical pivot 2. So now let me just have this. Okay, now let me have it in let me create a new job for that. I don't want to override this job. Let me create a new job. Okay, and again the sequential file, it's pretty much the same design but just different different pivot type. That's it. And processing is pivot enterprise, and then I'm writing it again to the data set. That's it, data set. Okay, it's alphabetical order, so I need not search for it, but for some reason I always go up and down. Sorry. Okay, now let me just put this everything is same. Okay, doesn't matter. Now okay, let me choose the file. So my file I mean I'm sorry, I named my file as vertical pivot. So let me just choose a vertical pivot, and first line in column names is true. And don't worry about the format, I'm just like dumping the columns in vertical pivot thing. So I have only 3 columns, right? So student ID, last name and course, that's it. And that's it, we are done with the source stage. Now let's go to the pivot type. So pivot type, we are trying to make columns as rows, right? So now choose the pivot type. Pivot type, it's always when we are trying to make columns to rows, I mean rows to columns, it's vertical type, right? Okay, and the other thing about this okay, the other thing is vertical, right? But if you if the okay, if the partitioning is auto, if the partitioning is in auto, it doesn't have any property. Just forget about that auto partitioning, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's thing. Now did we choose this okay, let me choose this as vertical. Okay, this is so okay. So we choose here vertical, right? Now let me just load the columns. See, I'm just clicking on this load button, I mean load thing, and everything like the columns or all what all we have in input, it's just loaded, right? Now I don't want this course column. Instead I want them as course 1, course 2, course 3, right? So yeah, that's when I just need to have like uh, columns defined. So if I just have like pivot, it means that I'm making this as the column, I'm making this course and telling data stage that I have rows, I have rows for the same name, I have the course points as a rows in the same for the same name, but I don't want them as rows, I want to make them as columns. So that's it. So that's what you're just saying it. And the other thing you need to mention for this pivot stage is group by. So it's asking, okay, I understand that you want to make rows as columns, but on what basis, on what group by option, on what group by column you need to have like rows, because it needs to group by, right? It doesn't really make sense if we don't have a group by function, right? So just say it like I want a group by last name, so that all the last name who all have the same last name, their courses gonna be in the vertical thing. And here you need to mention your array size. Array size is when you have, see, array size means course I have two, right? So I'm telling it like what I'm telling to array size is, so yeah, so we are trying to group by the last name, right? And what did I say about the vertical pivoting? About vertical pivoting, we can have the aggregation functions, right? So if you want to have your aggregation functions, the important thing is aggregation functions can only be done on this pivoted column. So what's important on aggregation about this is aggregation can only be done on the pivoted column. If we try to do on this, okay, let me just mention the array size here. Okay, array size, okay, let me just have 3 because we are trying to have okay, let me just have 2 because we have only 2 course columns, right? Yeah, array size is like it's asking what's this, how many columns do we need to split it from. That's it, it's pretty much like you need not worry about this array size. yeah, if you have like let's say sales, and you want to have like quarterly sales and half yearly sales. If it's quarterly sales, you want to make it like 4, right? Because it's 4 or 3. Okay, I'm not sure. And if it's half yearly, it's obviously 2, right? So yeah, how you want to split your data, that's the array size you want to mention it here. And because my array size is only 2, because I'm trying to split this pivoted column into 2, right? So yeah, that's the thing. And let me add pivot index too. Okay, and the thing now is, here aggregation functions can only be done on the column which we pivoted. If we try to do on other some other columns, see, it says cannot show function selection dialog for non-pivot element or non-pivot element, right? So whatever the column which we are trying to have pivot on, that's the only thing which we can have like aggregation on. So when you double click on that aggregation derivation, it has all these values. So yeah, first, last, min, max and all that. But I just want to have like a average, because it's student and it's grades, right? So I just want to have a average of that. Average gonna be always decimal, because it's average, right? We do have some we get some decimal, and because it's decimal, we need to specify some scale and precision. So let's make it like 5 and 2, and click this. If you click this, it means that you selected average for the pivoted column. So what, sorry, so what does that do is, along with course 1 and course 2, it's gonna have this average value of the column 2. So that's how you can have you can do your aggregation functions using this vertical pivoting. So now we are done with this. So I added pivot index column and all that, and now let's move to the output. Now just map your columns to your output. So what does this output saying? It's named, right? It's saying like course is course 1. Okay, okay, I'm sorry. So I just want to show you this data. I told that there are only two records for each, but I didn't realize that we do have third record for 13 and 14 too. So now what we're gonna do is, let's make our array, because we choose array size as 2, it's gonna have like course and course 1. Now let's make our array size as 3, okay? Because we do have another column too, right? So let's make it 3. Now let's go to the output. See, now if you see output, this, when I choose array size as 2, array size as 3, I mean when I choose array size as 3, the course, this column also existed, right? Let me just clear all this first. If you realize, if you have observed, when I choose array size as 2, we didn't have this vertical pivot course 2 column, right? Because it's saying that you mention your array size as 2, so I'm just choosing this course and course 1 as the two array size things. But when I mention array size as 3, it checked itself and it saw some records, and it found that okay, that makes sense, 3, so I can have like array size 3. But if you mention 4, it doesn't add, because we don't have records, or we don't have records for those fourth column, right? So yeah, that's pretty much about this. And now let me just map the columns. Okay, so I mapped, and that's pretty much about this. Average is also added to my output. So now let me just browse for file and just have ex2 or something. Okay, now let me just output it by the order. I don't want pivot index in the sorry, I don't want pivot index in the middle. I just want it last. It doesn't matter, but I just want to make a course 1, course 2 all together, and then the later, so it would be easy for us to analyze. Now let's run this job. Let's run this job and see how it gonna run. Okay, and if I remember here, how many rows do we have here? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 rows, right? So 12 rows, but we do, okay, see, 12 rows. But why did we get only 5 rows? Why didn't we get 6 rows? Because when we are trying to have like 5, it was 15, right? But now why did we get only 5 rows? Remember, we got only 5 rows because the third record, it's not counted. Okay, let me just show it. We didn't get 5, I mean we didn't get it's just gonna divide, right? Instead of 12, we need to get 6 here, but we didn't get 6 because, let me show your data, because I something messed up with the data. Somehow 2 columns and somehow 3 columns, right? So yeah, that's the reason we have. this 12 rows means the third thing. One, it's 11th record, and this is the 12th record. So it has like 5 records, and this is like this thing. So that's the reason we have 5 records instead of like a thing. Okay, now see, let me just okay, so now see, we have 10 Beasley. How many records we do have for Beasley? Let me open this. How many records do we have for Beasley? 2 records, right? So we do have course as 1, which is a course 1. Course means course 1. We can't I'm not sure, but I think we can't rename the column names, I guess. As soon as we try to rename, it's gonna get back to all the system generated column name, I guess. Okay, anyways, yeah, course 1 is, this is a course thing, the first course value. This is a course 190 and 92, and because we don't have course 3, we don't have the third record for Beasley. Since we have only 2 records, the course number is 0, and the average, right? And Disney, we do have third record for Disney. See, we do have 3 records for Disney, so that's the reason it has 3 records. So that's the reason we have like so it just splitting up and according to the array size. And see, we do have average values, average column 2 here, right? We do have average thing because we try to aggregate on this column course names. And the pivoted index, it's just trying to see it's pivoted index is what it's saying is your pivoted columns. See, we have 2, right? So 2. And if we have like pivoted, how many columns do we have here? 3, right? So that's 3. And how many columns we do have here? 3. So it just gives the number of pivoted columns, like number of rows that you pivoted based on your column. That's it. And see, again we have 2 records for this, and we don't have third one, so it's 2. So that's it here. Pivot index, it doesn't group by data, but it gives some other number which based on this array size and all that stuff. So yep, that's pretty much about this pivot stage. And yep, nothing more than that. You can try to have like your own partitioning and sorting and all that stuff. You need not really worry about that. Yep, you can choose your partitioning and perform sort so that everything like falls into place and all that. So that's pretty much it, guys. See, when I said that if you try to change your column names, so let's say I want this as course 1. Okay, see, even though I'm typing this at course 1, it's not changing, it's coming back to this. So I believe we can't really change the column names, I guess. So that's pretty much it about this vertical pivoting stage 2. So horizontal pivoting, we are making columns as rows, and we can't have array size on horizontal pivoting. Okay, and coming to the vertical pivoting, it's pretty much only in the pivot enterprise stage. We can't just make it in any pivot stage. And in vertical pivoting, we can mention, we can mention array size. I mean, we need to mention the array size. And the other thing is, we can perform group by functions on pivot enterprise on vertical pivoting. It's not just pivoting, vertical pivoting. We can do group by functions or aggregation functions on vertical pivoting. And the most important thing is that vertical or that aggregation functions can only be defined on the pivoted column. If you choose any other non-pivoted column to have aggregation functions, that's not gonna function. So you need to have your aggregation functions only on the pivoted column. Okay, so yep, that's pretty much it about this pivot or pivot enterprise stage, guys. So yeah, that's more than enough. So if somebody asks if they have like columns, and you need to have like, you don't want them as columns but instead you want make those columns as rows, then just say horizontal pivoting. And if it's other way, it's vertical pivoting. Okay, so that's it, guys. And in my next video, I'd go for remove duplicates and sort. Once we finish remove duplicates and sort, modify and transformer, they're gonna be like pretty important, so I'm gonna focus more on that. And thank you, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all understood pivot, enterprise, and vertical and horizontal pivoting. Thank you, guys.